Well, now, what a fascinating world in which we live. As some of you know, I am a monster. I embody all things evil, dark, vile, shadowy asterisk. Not everything that is in the shadows is in and of itself necessarily a monster. Star next to the asterisk. Some people say that things that are considered monsters may not actually be monsters, but that's metaphysics. What did I expect to get when I got home today? Threats to my 80-year-old parents. No. So there is someone, I will use her name because I am 99% certain that it is a pseudonym, as is really normal. Once Facebook normalized the utilization of pseudonyms, we could pretty much assume pseudonyms everywhere. If Janet Jongeblood, Jongeblood, Jongebloed, if that's not a pseudonym, Janet or friends or colleagues, please let me know. Otherwise, it's Janet Youngblood to me. Well, the other night, Janet started saying, "You, Jeff Mack, you are a horrible person. You have done horrible things. You have hurt people. You have done bad things." And I said what I, as an autistic person, say. Don't get me wrong, I don't speak for all autistic persons. I just speak for myself. But I can say very clearly what I said, which was, "What did I do and to whom?" To which she said, "You did the bad things." And I said, "What bad things?" "All the bad things." "To whom?" "All the people." And I'm like, well, that's not practical. I did not, in fact, do all of the bad things, even assuming we can define what bad is. And I'm perfectly willing to take lots of common definitions of bad. Murder, bad. Um, Stealing all of someone's stuff, bad. Um, Having someone torn apart by invisible demons, a la H.P. Lovecraft, bad. Lots of bad things. I am willing to accept that bad things exist, but I did not do those things. I don't even have access to invisible demons. But that didn't stop her. She said, "You have stolen money from everyone." I said, "Great." I mean, not great that stolen money is good, but great. Stolen money, police reports, out the wazoo, tax reports, invoices, lists. Here's the money. This money was in Fred's shop. This money was in the National Bank of Hoboken. This money was here. Now it is gone. We got pictures of you on record. No, none of that. "Well, you stole money from people." I did. "You stole money from performers." I'm like, well, name a performer who says that I've stolen money from them. "That's not the point. You stole the money from everyone," she said. And I'm like, this is just not helpful. And we went on like this. "You hurt people." "Who?" "Everyone." "You were bad to people." "Who?" "Everyone." Well, I was in the performance arena for 20 years. I'm in the performance arena again. To whom am I bad? Who have I hurt? What have I done? What is the charge? Is there a single police charge? Is there a single piece of evidence? Is there a single court charge? Is there a photo? Is there an invoice? Is there a record? Is there anybody who has sat down on a piece of paper and said, "Jeff Mack stole X dollars from me. Jeff Mack did Y thing to me"? Anyone, anything, anything. No. No. There's anonymous stuff saying, "Jeff Mack hurt me," saying, "Jeff and I had sex and I forced Jeff to have sex, and I told Jeff that I didn't love him and I wouldn't love him unless we had sex. And then he had sex with me, but it turns out that Jeff is an event promoter and I am just an ordinary person, and event promoters have more power." I'm not trying to make fun of this. This is a dynamic that could be exploited, but I didn't. And there's no examples, and it doesn't say who, and it doesn't say how, and it doesn't say where, and it doesn't say when. And in the few examples that it does, it's somewhere in the realm of 1992 to 2020, I guess 2018, that Jeff at some point did some bad thing to some person. What the hell? I say this not as an angry person, though I could be angry. I have a lot of reason to be angry. I say this not as an autistic person, although frick, the gaslighting about my autism. "You can't blame your autism. Don't say your autism did this." Okay, I won't say my autism did this. I don't think, and this could just be me, that it is not autism that makes me say, "Please tell me what I did, at least in the general sense, and to whom and around when." And it being almost 4 years later, no one has done this at any point. There's blogs out my ears saying that I have done all the bad things to all the people at all the bad times, but no knowledge of what. Okay, fine, that's me. I am Jeff Mack. I'm 46 years old. I do not want to get any fights. I haven't been into a legal physical fight for years. But if you have to fight someone, I live at 208 Anderson Street. It's listed on my business. I've lived there for 20 some years. If we need to fight, and I will attempt to avoid fighting you, I will call police, I will reason with you, I will talk. But if we need to fight, I am here, right here, in the physical flesh. But no, no. I'm too young. This is just gray. I am just 46. My parents, however, are in their 80s. They have never been athletes. They've never studied martial arts. They've never learned boxing. They're not fighters, not in the physical sense. They are very, very much fighters in the sense of if there is injustice, they will fight it. And that is why, in the face of a lawsuit that has basically been disproven on almost every point, my parents are fighting. But my parents are not here to get into a physical fight with people. My mom is not Iron Man, oddly enough. My dad is not Batman. He's never claimed to be. They are retirees. They are old Jewish retirees who go to the synagogue and read books and sometimes teach creative writing classes, and they get groceries. That's my parents. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. They are retired. They are parents. They are, almost twice my age. But no, this Janet Youngblood, Jongeblood, whatever her name is, this Janet, and again, Janet, if for some weird reason you are actually using your real name on the internet while you're busy yelling threats at people and screaming at people and basically blasting people, I'm sorry. I have every reason, based on the weird spelling of your name and based on your actions, to believe that you are completely lying and making it up. But fine, if you're a real person and you wish to say that you're not doing those things, by the way, you are doing those things. But fine, if you want to come and say, hey, Jeff, you said I'm a real person, you gave my real name, and you said these things that I'm doing, and somehow, don't get me how, you want to claim that you're not doing them, fine. Okay, fine. But this person decides to go after my parents and publish their address, which is in the phone book. It's been in the phone book for 50 years, longer than I've been alive. They live in Teaneck. They live 2 blocks down from where my rabbi lived. They live in a nice neighborhood full of a diverse community where they were kind enough to raise myself and my brother. They still live there. I don't see why you're going after them, but Janet decided to put my parents' name out there. Let me put it this way. I cannot begin, and I would probably lose my audience if I began ranting about how insane this is, how stupid, how mean, how cruel, how vicious, how useless, how idiotic, how illegal, how much you are flaunting not just the law, but if you think that you are better than the law, if you think you know something better than the law, it's not vigilante justice towards 80-year-olds who have not harmed you. It's towards me if you really have anybody. Don't get me wrong, I'm not encouraging vigilante justice, but if you're pissed at somebody, you are pissed at me. Come at me. I am also findable. My address is visible. I don't want you to come after me. I don't want to get into a fight with you. If you try to fight with me, I'll try to talk you out of it. I'll try to call the cops. If you attack me, I will defend myself. I have no desire to do this. But if you have to fight somebody, fight me. But that's not the point. The point is, whoever you are so convinced that I am some kind of monster. My parents must be some kind of monster by genetics. By the way, that's a little racist, but let's get beyond that. They're genetically monsters because they gave birth to me and I live. And they should be what? I guess expose the internet, having their address put out there so that any wacko on the internet can come after them. You realize this is crazy, don't you, Janet? You realize this is freaking nuts. I could end this by saying, fine, come after me, but I don't want anyone to come after me. I don't want to get into a physical fight. I'd like to settle these things within the law, with sanity, and if possible, with discussions. But fine. Go ahead and publish my parents' address. It's not a secret. But if you're publishing my parents' address, please understand what you are saying to the world. You are saying, in effect, these people who are not Jeff Mack are monsters. Jeff Mack is such a monster that it is okay to publish his parents' address, presumably because one can think of only one reason. Someone can harass, harm, hurt, or otherwise damage Jeff's parents. And this is because Jeff must be a monster. Fine, but in days of talking to you, what have I done? I've heard allegations. Jeff hurt people. Who? Jeff was sexually inappropriate with people. Who? Jeff violated the law. Well, the law doesn't think so. Jeff did this, and this. I mean, if this, and this were specific things, maybe. But you're saying Jeff was hurtful, Jeff was mean, Jeff was a dick, Jeff was mean. You say that you've got, I believe last count, it was 9 people who said that I did inappropriate things. Well, let me tell you. I have, as of last count, 17,893 people. Sure, you can't prove that many people exist, but that's okay. We don't check these facts. That is, in fact, wrong. It's wrong to check facts in a world where we know the justice system must be corrupted. So, yeah, these people are all living under the sea in some sort of Bioshock situation. I have 17 trillion people who said that you've done bad things. You should watch yourself. Let's have a little bit of sanity. Not for me, not for my parents, though I love my parents, but for the idea of anyone who wants to get through this madness, this just insanity. We need to talk to each other, figure things out, have some kind of rules and laws we work with, have some basic way of saying, I am accusing this person of this thing, so that this person can then say, this is what happened in relation to that thing. We cannot simply say, I think this person did bad, and therefore it is okay to hurt this person's parents. Nobody thinks that's a good idea. Just nobody. I'm sure people can think of ideas. Oh, the worst person ever, dictator, is Nibnar, who destroyed 17 planetary systems. Well, she deserves to die, and her parents deserve to die. I don't know if I'd agree with that argument, but I get where you're coming from. But my parents are not that. They're old Jewish people. I am not that. I am Jeff Mack, event creator, and I live here, and you can talk to me face to face. You can email me. You can message me. You can Facebook me. If you really need to, you can arrange to meet with me, or if you really have to, you know where I live. Let's have some kind of sanity here, because the challenge of having no sanity is that will eventually turn on all of us, not just me and not just you. Having no sanity will wreck us all. I'm not saying you have to agree with the rule of law. I am saying if you advocate for going out there and randomly trying to destroy people's 80-year-old parents on the grounds that you are pissed off at somebody for something you literally, and this has been 3 days, so I'm certain of it, cannot say what this person did, but this person did stuff that you can't claim what they did. You don't know what it is. You can't name it. You can't say it, much less specify it, much less prove it. You don't know what it is, but yet people should go after not just this person, but their parents. Your system is messed up and broken, and you need to stop. Not on my behalf, not on my parents' behalf, not on behalf of all the elderly Jewish people who are subject to anti-Semitism, to the horrors of age, to all the various challenges. You need to stop, because what you're doing will hurt every human being. When you just take it a couple of inches further, it's not like some crazy extension, it's a direct extension. The convenience store person who gave my mom an extra fruit, an extra piece of apple, monster! The person who smiled at my mom, thus cheering her day, she doesn't deserve to be cheered. She is the mother of a monster. It's a simple logic, and it's messed up, and it needs to stop. Stop that. I am Jeff Mack. You know where to find me. You know how to talk to me. I have no desire to break the law, but I have every desire to see your messed up, broken ideas destroyed, torn apart, and vanquished from the world, because it'll make the world a better place. Goodbye.